What's up everyone, thanks for tuning in. So today I'm going to show you how to change out a clutch in a third generation Honda Accord 1986 through 1989 on the A20 platform. So if you guys still have the transmission attached, I have a video, I'll link it down in the description below that you guys can watch so you guys know how to remove the transmission to be able to change out that clutch. Okay, for you guys that have seen the transmission removal video, consider this like a part 2 if you guys are planning on doing a clutch and flywheel job at the same time. So here's my stage 2, I believe, ACT clutch. I've had this clutch since I pretty much had this car. I think it's probably one of the first mods I've done to this car, and it grabs pretty hard, and it definitely was over spec for what this engine was capable of. So I'm going to remove it now and probably put it in the coupe for when I do the transmission rebuild, and that's yet to come. So I'll start off, we're going to take off, there are going to be 6 of these, sorry, right here. 6 of these bolts on the pressure plate all the way around. I'm going to take those off, and I'm going to do it in like a star pattern just so you don't risk warping this or anything like that. So just here, 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 kind of like how you remove a wheel. So I'm going to begin that now. Okay, so before you guys start loosening this, you're going to have to find a way to lock the flywheel. This is the method that I use. Basically, if you start loosening it, then the flywheel is just going to move along with it, and it's going to be pretty hard to be able to loosen these bolts. So I just get that open end, and I just run it through the short starter bolt right up there, as you see, and then just lock it in. I just locked it in right there, and then when you crank it down, it should not be able to move. And another key thing too, guys, for those of you guys that don't know, be careful if you're going to be using like any sort of impact or air tools to be able to remove this. There's a high chance that it's going to kick up some of the clutch dust, and inhaling that is not good. It contains asbestos fibers, which can lead to like lung cancer and stuff like that. So a quick, easy, safe thing to do, since they're abundant right now, is you guys can wear a mask. Honestly, just wear the best filtration mask possible would be nice. Another option is not to use an impact, and you guys could also just, like, if you do, hose the clutch and flywheel down with like brake cleaner, and it should get all like the dust and stuff to settle down. So just my 2 cents, guys. So I'm gonna start on doing these bolts. All right, they're all finger loose right now, so I'm just gonna hit it with this drill. I'm surprised I didn't drop that. Sorry if the camera's shaky. Kind of no room down here to set the camera and do this at the same time, so try my best, guys. One little dowel holding it in. There it goes. Alright, there's the pressure plate. There's the clutch. And there's the flywheel, and I'm not going to be touching that. Probably do another video on that. Probably won't take that off and stuff until I send this, not this specific engine, but when I take the block out to go get a rebuild and board out and all that stuff for boost. So now that we got that off, time to show you how to install one. Okay, so clutch install. So one of the important things you guys got to do is make sure everything of your new clutch or whatever is clean. Make sure the flywheel surface is clean, make sure the clutch itself, back of the pressure plate, make sure all that's clean. Use brake cleaner and all that stuff. Another thing too, if you guys want to, if you guys know how to spot like hot spots on your flywheel and stuff like that, it probably is a good idea to go get your flywheel resurfaced. If not, and you know get a scuff pad, you know how to do it, you guys could probably scuff out all the hot spots out yourself. I've never knew anybody that messed up a flywheel so bad by doing it themselves in that way, unless they pretty much just like sat on like one surface for like, I don't know, 10-20 minutes to where it really rounded out. But I mean, then it, use your head if you're planning on doing it yourself. But it never hurts to take it to a machine shop or just get your flywheel resurfaced. Never hurts. Okay, so here's the flywheel. This side is going to touch the flywheel, and this is the side facing the pressure plate. Like you see all that clutch dust right here, all this stuff, none of that. Make sure there's none of this stuff on the clutch, on the pressure plate, or the flywheel as well. I'm not going to obviously record myself cleaning all this stuff. That'd be just a waste of time. Plus, this isn't even going to be going back into this car. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. So, clean surface is a happy surface. Put these dowels here, line up. Sorry for moving the camera, guys. Alright, I'm gonna just finger tighten these just to keep the flywheel in place so I don't have to hold it. Get it to focus on there. And yes, I am well aware of the coolant leak that you're seeing. It's coming from the hose, which I damaged while I was pulling the transmission out. So. Okay, so I got 3 in there. That's good enough. Just enough where it won't work, or where it'll move. So, clutch is all moving in there. So this is where you get your alignment key that's provided with your clutch kit, hopefully. And you put your alignment key in here, and it lines everything up. Tighten all these down to 19 foot-pounds, and you're good to go. I don't have an alignment tool. There's many ways where you can like make them. There's a lot of good videos on YouTube show you how to install clutches and stuff without the alignment tool. So those work. I have a lot of spare parts, so I'm actually going to use a main shaft I have outside of the 820 transmission right now. Yeah, I might get flamed for doing this, but I don't see why it won't work. I mean, this is exactly what this is exactly what's going to be operating this thing in the real world, if that makes any sense. Okay. Actually, I don't even need to do that right now. This is just floating in there. And I'm gonna hand tight the rest of these bolts on here. And then I'm just gonna do a quick tightening on with the gun, and then torque them down the spec. And when I'm tightening them down with the gun, or if you guys are using a ratchet or whatever, that would be the time where you guys would insert your alignment tool or whatever you choose to use to align the clutch. And it's going to be the same principle too when tightening like a star pattern, just to make sure you don't risk warping anything. Yeah, if I keep hitting the phone, guys, I apologize. It's really difficult to find a good recording location and be able to work. Yes, I've done like 3, and as you, I'm not holding the main shaft anymore. It's actually kind of holding itself. Again, you guys probably gonna give me some flack in the comments for using it, but I've known other people who've used it before in desperate times. But as I said, I don't have an alignment tool, and this isn't exactly an alignment tool I can be able to like easily go on eBay or Amazon to find, which you guys will probably send me links in the comments below because I honestly didn't try looking for one. But as I said, D series, B series, and all that stuff won't work on this. Remember, I'm not tightening them all the way down, just enough to keep it flush, and you know, have some sort of tension to keep that clutch in line. More on this side. Okay. Now with your alignment tool, what you want to check is you can easily move this. Nothing's acting weird, nothing's getting caught up or binding or nothing, then it's good to go. If you're having a hard time pulling this out or moving it, then something is not right, not aligned correctly. So make sure this is good first before you finally torque them down. So I'm not going to torque them down because this is demonstration purposes. You guys have a torque wrench, 19 foot-pounds. Again, when you're tightening them down in a crisscross like star pattern. Just make sure you have even tension on all sides and you don't risk warping anything. And that's pretty much about it for the bolting on part to the flywheel. So one more thing and then we're done. Okay, to wrap things up, this is the 820 transmission. Specifically, I'll get into this just real quick. This is a Integra ZC first generation Integra hybrid gear swap transmission. So basically what you're looking at is this is the 820 bell housing with a Integra, the ZC Integra, the first generation Integra half case. I always mix up my words when I say that. I can say Integra for now. First gen Integra, the pop-up headlight Integra. And there's a reasoning why I chose this half case. You can use the 820 half case as well, it'll work, but there's one small reasoning, and I'll make a video way more in depth on this here pretty soon. So Integra first through fourth gear with the Integra final drive, which is 4.2 stock Accord fifth gear, specifically the carbureted fifth gear, which is a tad bit taller, I believe. And that's pretty much about it. So anyway, to finish things up, once you got your clutch and your pressure plate all bolted up to the flywheel, when you put your transmission on, an important thing you guys got to do is get some like high temp grease. I would use like high temp white lithium grease if you guys can find any, and just do and I really mean this, a light coat on the spleens and on this area right here. A light coat. Do not put a whole bunch on this. It will affect the clutch. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, or haven't experienced it, refined movement. If you guys don't follow that channel, go check out those guys. They have a video specifically showcase of what happens if you put too much grease on the spleen and this whole back area right here. So basically, one of the videos, they installed a brand new action clutch into their D16 in their Civic hatchback. Had a track day, everything worked out well, and towards the end, he got some crazy chattering, whirring noise coming from the transmission. And under inspection, when there was the grease coated all over the clutch, all over the flywheel, and they sent pictures to Action Clutch, and they pretty much emailed them back that, yeah, that's because you put way too much grease on here, which caused all that. Thankfully, nothing got too damaged to my knowledge, and all they had to do was pretty much just clean it all up, reinstall, and everything was good to go. So very important on that. Be very, very, like, limit yourself how much grease you put on here. And one last thing before I close this out, I've seen hit or miss on this topic in regards to putting Loctite on your pressure plate bolts. Now, I am an advocate for putting Loctite on flywheel bolts for sure. But as far as pressure plate goes, it wouldn't hurt. If I was to use it, I would use blue. I know, which is weird because there's a lot of like Loctite stuff, and like it's better to go off Loctite numbers than actual colors. So basically the semi-permanent Loctite, if that makes any sense. The only reason why I'm kind of like hesitant on that is, well, if you really need to get rid of or loosen something that's been like really Loctited in, heat is what you use to you know, kind of weaken the Loctite's ability to do its job onto the bolt. And it's somewhere, I mean, again, results kind of speak for themselves, but it just, in my mind, it's kind of like, well, it's going to be in a very high vibration, high temp. But to my knowledge, maybe, I don't know, like maybe it's not going to reach temperatures hot enough to where that Loctite's going to weaken enough to where it won't do its job onto keeping that those bolts from walking out. So I don't know if you guys want to do that. No, nothing against that. I personally would definitely put Loctite on flywheel bolts for sure. If you guys want to do it on your pressure plate bolts, feel free to do so. The bolts that were on that pressure plate, specifically what you just saw, no Loctite was used, and it was torqued down, and it's lasted that long. I've driven like that multiple times under various different scenarios, and it's held, and no signs of anything weird going on with that. So yeah, there you go, guys. Alright guys, well, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Also hit me up on Instagram, Asian, AZIAN _ Zensation, ZENSATION. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.